Hello, everybody. How's everybody doing today? I hope everybody's doing great. Um, as of today, well, yesterday, Donald Trump was indicted for the Stormy Daniels scandal. Allegedly, he had an affair with her, or was it a one night stand? Um, I do know that he lied about it when he was trying to become president, and I think it got him into a lot of trouble, and now he's being indicted. Um, so I'm gonna play a clip, and then I'm gonna come back and give my thoughts uh, on how I felt about some of the things that were said. I hate he's being indicted. But with some of the charges that are coming against him, it makes you wonder, could he go to jail eventually?
On a historic day. Nicole Wallace is, I think, still with us. Nicole, this is
Hi,
one of
Ari.
those times we lived through this. This is one of those times where you say, okay, it may have taken longer than people thought. It may have come about differently than people thought. We followed the facts. We don't always create them. And yet, I'm curious what you think, reflecting on this fact that and NYT first reported it. NBC News has it confirmed. And as I mentioned, Donald Trump's lawyers aren't denying it tonight. Donald Trump, the former president, has been notified that he has been indicted in New York. The next step of the legal process will be his booking, like any other human being, like any other person under the rule of law, to go through that and then be, if tried by a jury of his peers. What do you think about how we got to this point?
I have two thoughts. One, with Trump, there's always a threat of his own expression, human carnage. And when you listen to Michael Cohen, this is someone who didn't have sex with Stormy Daniels, whose campaign didn't benefit from silencing her, but he went to jail. This is also a story about, you can't tell a story about Donald Trump and the law without there being a chapter on his own Justice Department. SDNY, under Trump, under Barr, investigated this chapter and these acts and found that, quote, Donald Trump directed and coordinated a hush money scheme. So I am waiting to see what happened to the same evidence that Alvin Bragg marshaled in front of the New York grand jury that was marshaled years before Alvin Bragg ever held this office. So before Republicans run out and call Alvin Bragg political, a Republican-led Justice Department developed the same facts, interviewed the same witnesses, and came to the same conclusion. Now, because it's a state crime, you know this better than me, they're probably looking at the cover-up of those actions of directing and coordinating a hush money scheme. And that's even worse. That extends into the Oval Office, where he was writing hush money payments in installments for Stormy Daniels through Michael Cohen, who was, as Rudy Giuliani told us on Sean Hannity, a, quote, pass through. So because it's Trump, there are human beings that were viewed as disposable to Trump, people who were once very close advisors. There's always a Barr story or angle. There's oddly always an SDNY thread. There's always an open question for Merrick Garland about what happened to these federal cases.
Yeah, and as you say, and Michael alluded to it earlier, Nicole, there are other allegations. There's other criminal evidence of matters that could be more serious. When people say don't make a federal case out of it, there's a very serious open federal case regarding the insurrection against the United States, including a convicted sedition, and whether the tentacles of that reach back into Donald Trump's White House. As of now, no one that worked for him directly or he has been charged or held accountable for that. But I guess, before I go on to the... Go ahead.
Yeah, but I mean, if you and I did all three of these things, right? If you and I silenced a porn star to benefit our presidential campaign, if you and I incited a deadly insurrection, and if you and I took classified documents to Mar-a-Lago and said they're mine because I thought them declassified, we would be criminally exposed in all three jurisdictions, state and federal. It's only in conversations about Donald Trump that people are like, well, let's go with the best one. And frankly, that analysis has shifted too. Until classified documents were found at Pence's home and Biden's library, people thought Mar-a-Lago was the strongest prosecution. So, I'm not a lawyer, you are, but people should follow the facts and treat everybody the same. If you prosecute me, you should prosecute an ex-president.
Wow. So how do y'all feel about that? I do enjoy people comments. Donald Trump has been indicted. Should he be prosecuted? I think he should be prosecuted just like anybody else. If you've done the crime, then you should do the time. I don't think it's fair for his lawyer, Michael Cohen, to go to jail and do time for covering up for Donald Trump, and Donald Trump don't go to jail for covering up or lying. They say there were 30, from my knowledge, there are 30 charges coming against him. He would needs to be in New York by Tuesday. And on Tuesday, he will face a judge. He will be prosecuted. He will be booked. He will be hand fingerprinted. He will go into the system just like anybody else. My thing was, did we think Donald Trump was above the law? For a long time, I thought he was above the law because he did the insurrection. He's threatened a DA. And I say, gosh, the average American citizen cannot do what he do, because you would be in jail so quick and fast that it would be funny. But from my knowledge, the Democrats who worked on his case, let's listen at a little bit of what they are saying about how they felt about Donald Trump and what he did. So I'm going to share a little bit of that as well.
Made Donald Trump a defendant before tonight, a civil defendant. Goldman, we have now arrived at defendant Trump, criminal defendant Trump. And we are living a perfectly consistent pattern of American law, and that's that every president in history who has ever paid off a porn star has been charged with a crime.
Well, we assume that's part of it. We still have not seen the indictment. It is reported to have 34 counts, which to my calculation would be a lot more than just a conduct surrounding the Stormy Daniels payment. And I think one of the things that people ought to be careful of and looking at is that we haven't seen the indictment. We don't know the charges. We don't know the evidence. And yet there are inflammatory accusations about partisanship and political basis for these charges from people who have no idea what the charges are. And that should you everything know about what is motivating Donald Trump and his supporters. On the flip side, this is no cause to celebrate. This is a serious matter where the first time ever a former president is indicted. And we need to make sure that Donald Trump, like every defendant, gets the benefit of his constitutional rights. That is how our system has worked for nearly 250 years. And that is how it needs to continue to work, to make sure that we are following the rule of law, that no one is above the law, and that we are a government of laws and not men, and especially one man. And so Donald Trump should have his day in court. He should challenge the indictment on whatever basis he thinks he should. He should have a right to a trial where 12 jurers will have to unanimously convict him based on proof beyond a reasonable doubt, the highest standard in our legal system. And that's how it has worked for every defendant in our history. It is a tried and true process that is the best in the world. And that's where this case should be litigated.
Carson Swalwell, McCarthy's lying already, of course, issuing a tweet threat to Alvin Bragg, which is no threat at all, saying that he and the Republicans in the House of Representatives are going to hold the Manhattan District Attorney to account. Of course, he has absolutely no power to do that. Alvin Bragg doesn't even have to take his phone call, and never will, because Kevin McCarthy would not dare to call Alvin Bragg on the telephone and actually have a conversation with him. But this is all part of the fundraising game that Kevin McCarthy is going to play off of this. No one should think that there is the slightest threat from these clowns that you have proven are clowns in their so-called investigative hearings so far. There is absolutely no threat from those people to anything that's happening in this Manhattan prosecution.
Lawrence, there's a real threat to life and public safety, and that's the threat that I'm worried about. Kevin McCarthy could get someone killed with his rhetoric. He's the Speaker of the House. He is second in line to the presidency, and he is taking a wrecking ball to the rule of law, and he is going to inspire and incite somebody to take up violence against law enforcement or somebody involved in this case. Instead of saying that exactly what Mr. Goldman just said, which is our rule of law will withstand this, and if Donald Trump is innocent, a jury of his peers will find him innocent. Kevin McCarthy is already casting judgment on the process. Now, I'm confident that our justice system, our Constitution, the due process, their law can withstand this, but it's going to be very challenging. And I'm worried about the targets on the backs of so many in law enforcement when leaders like McCarthy are siding with Donald Trump. It's reckless. It's lies that he's telling, and it's endangering people who walk right now.
Daniel Goldman, with your experience as a prosecutor, what is your sense of a timetable on a prosecution like this, which is, I know, difficult before Tuesday when we find out what the actual list of charges turns out to be?
Well, there will be an opportunity for the former president to review all of the discovery materials, all of the evidence that the prosecutors have. He will then have an opportunity to file any legal motions, including potentially a motion to dismiss the indictment based on his view that the legal theory does not rise to the level of a crime or does not meet the statutory requirements. That will then be resolved by the judge, and then there will be a trial. But these things usually take a good amount of time, and I would not expect a trial much less than a year from now, if that's, even if then.
And Carson Swalwell, in the meantime, there is a very high statistical likelihood that we will have more indictments of Donald Trump in more jurisdictions.
Lawrence, that's right. If you just look at the January 6th committee, a bipartisan committee, the recommendations that they made, conspiracy to defraud the United States, obstruction of Congress, obstruction of justice, those are all being considered right now. And that's why I think it's so important that America's leaders embrace the rule of law, embrace our Constitution and the protections that affords Donald Trump, rather than to really, project violence onto the district attorney and people involved in law enforcement. Now is the time to celebrate justice because it benefits all of us, and not to celebrate any indictment, nor to destroy, public property or make any threats, because more indictments will likely come if this is the track that prosecutors are proceeding under. And it's time for us, again, to just be adults and not be Kevin McCarthy.
All right. All right. Well, I do know as of tonight that people have been trying to protest and the police have shut it down in New York, Manhattan. So what's going to happen between now and Monday when Donald Trump turns himself in, we have no clue. I do know that law enforcement has said they are definitely ready. So if you're out there protesting, I would say, please be careful. It's not worth you getting shot, getting killed, or going to jail behind Donald Trump getting indicted. That's something Donald Trump needs to fight on his own. Uh, if you get in trouble, he's not going to come and get you out of jail. He's not going to put any money up to bail you out. And he's definitely not going to take care of your family. I would say stand back and let the justice play out. If he's innocent, it will show. But he's not above the law. He's just like anybody else going into court. Um, and if he knows he's innocent, then he can take the stand. The 30 charges, some saying 30, some saying 34 charges they have against him. Nobody knows what those charges are. Hopefully, we will know. I know it's related to his business. Um, but the rest of the charges are held. I guess we'll know between now and Tuesday, because Tuesday he has to face a judge. Uh, Trump getting indicted. What does that mean? That means that on Thursday, yesterday, he was indicted by the New York investigated the Manhattan District Attorney Office. He was indicted for playing a role in the $130,000 of hush money he paid to an adult film actress, Stormy Daniels, and that was in 2016, right before he was elected president. So I think what it was, he had started lying, from what I'm gathering, is that Donald Trump used, he put it off on his business as he was paying attorney fees. But he really wasn't paying attorney fees. He was paying hush money through Michael Coleman, his attorney, and he went to jail for doing it. But he was paying hush money to Stormy Daniels to be quiet about the relationship that they had. Whether it was a sexual encounter, and I think it was. It could have been a one night stand, but he still kept in contact with her. From what she was saying, it was more or less a one night stand. But I guess that's what you do when you get with porn stars. He was going to put her on his show, The Apprentice, but I guess that didn't pan out. So they were friends. What made her decide to sue him? But she wasn't the only one, because it's another young lady also sued him, and he paid her hush money for $150,000. So Stormy Daniel was the second one. It was one before her. He paid Stormy 130,000, and paid the other one 150,000. So I think what happened was, it wasn't the fact that he paid the money to the prostitutes or the film actors or whatever you want to call them. I think what got him in trouble is that he lied and said it was a business. He was paying money for attorney fees to try to cover up him paying money to prostitutes or film actors. That's what I think got him in trouble. And Michael Coleman, he served his time. So it's not right that your attorney can go to jail, and he didn't even have sex with the woman, but you can't go to jail. Whether he go to jail or not, I can't say that, because he can beat every charge and come straight out. He's a ex-president. And by the time they get it into court, really, like the man was saying on the recording, he was saying it may get into court. It may take a year before it even get into court. And if that's the case, then an election could be won. Can he still continue to be a president? Yeah, he can if y'all vote him in the office. What will happen with this case? Who knows what'll happen? I don't think that they can indict a sitting president, but they waited till he got out and indicted him. Can he be facing more indictments? Yes, he can for the insurrection on January the 6th when he told them to, and I think that's what's coming up next, when he told the people to go to the Capitol. You got a lot of people that went to jail behind that. Going to the Capitol, wanting to kill Pence. And Mike Pence was talking tonight, and I was listening at him, and I'm like, he's still defending Donald Trump. But you got to go and testify about what happened. Did Donald Trump know that he lost the election? And if Donald Trump knew that he lost the election and he still called people to go and riot the Capitol, then he could be indicted for that as well. So I think it's more indictments coming before this election take place. So I'm wishing Donald Trump good luck. I don't believe he's above the law. I think he's just like every other citizen. Today they proved that he's not above the law. He's just like anybody else. So as of right now, we'll see what take place. But I guess by Monday or Tuesday, he needs to be facing a judge. And they would do him just like anybody else. He'll get fingerprinted. He get his mug shot taken. And I think after the end, they can read him his charges and let him go. And then just tell him when to be back in court. But I think on Tuesday, they're saying that the indictment charges should be read. So I guess Tuesday we'll know more about what did they charge him with. So I guess people just need to sit tight and wait. I wouldn't go out there protesting when you don't even know what you're protesting for. They haven't even read the charges. All he's saying is that he's innocent. But everybody's innocent until proven guilty. He's got to be booked and charged, and he'll have his day in court just like everybody else that commits a crime and have to go to court. He'll be have a jury of his peers, 12 jurors, and they'll decide if he's innocent or if he's guilty. And if he's guilty, he'll have to face whatever sentence that they give him if he is found guilty and if it does get to court. So I think it's sort of up in the air right now. Basically, I didn't, from his son and from Donald Trump, I don't think Donald Trump thought it was going to get this far. And I think he is shocked that they indicted him, especially after he told the DA, if they indict him, that he was going to assassinate him. And I thought that was definitely wrong because another citizen cannot go and tell a DA that I'm going to have you killed if you indict me. I felt like charges should have been brought up there. From my knowledge, they're praying with that with their DA, because they got a hit out on his family. And from hearing that, I'm like, wow, this is really getting out of hand. The DA have a job to do, and the DA did his job, and the DA didn't indict Trump. There were 12 people that indicted Donald Trump after they listened to the testimonies. The grand jury indicted Donald Trump. The DA did not indict Donald Trump. So with that being said, why are y'all out here wanting to cause harm to the district attorney family, who has done nothing to anybody? He was just doing his job. But we'll see how it play out. He was still indicted, so his threats didn't mean anything because the grand jury still came back and indicted him today. So I guess that was saying he's the first president to ever be indicted, to ever have to go to court or go to jail, the procedures going through jail. I don't think they're actually going to lock him up, but I do think they're going to fingerprint him and then probably let him go and say, come back to court with his attorneys. But we will hear on Tuesday what charges are, whether there are 30 charges against him or 34. I'm hearing two different things. So time will tell. I thank y'all for listening. Hit the like button. Leave me your comments. How do you feel about what happened today? Does it show you that Donald Trump is not above the law? Or he's just like anybody else out here? Nobody is above the law. And when he say make America great again, to me, America has never been great because I have worked like a dog all my life trying to support two kids and go to college. So I haven't got a piece of that pie yet. I think when you say make America great again, I'm wondering, what does that mean? Does that mean the rich get richer? The rich can commit crimes and get away with it? What does he mean when he say make America great again? Has America been great for you? That's my question to people out here. When he say make America great again, has it ever been great for you? Even when he was in office, I don't see what he did in office to make a big difference in my life. I don't know about yours, but I don't see where he done anything that was so great when he was in office. So maybe somebody will elaborate on what he means by make America great again. I view your comments. Let me know how you feel. Hit my like button. Leave a comment. And if you haven't subscribed to my channel, I would love to have you because I love what I do. So subscribe to my channel. I'm going to leave it right here. And have a great day. Everybody be safe. If you're going to go and protest, that's up to you. I just say be safe. Don't go to jail. Don't be out here tearing up nothing. Because you don't even know what he's indicted for. And why go out here and fight for something and you don't even know what you're fighting for? All we know is he's been indicted, what they charged him for. He can say he's innocent, but he don't even know what they charged him for. And I don't think that's going to be revealed until Tuesday. We just know that it's related to his business, the charges. So I do say be safe. Is it worth it? No, it's not worth it. Please don't go out there. The police are ready. They're on standby. Everybody's working tomorrow. I say please be safe. Don't get in any trouble because it's not worth it. He's not going to bail you out. Who's going to take care of your family? There's a number of things to think about before you go out here and commit a crime. Then you got to pay lawyer fees. And from the insurrection, a lot of people end up, what happened on January 6th, a lot of people went to jail and was faced with some serious time. it's not worth you going to jail behind Donald Trump. So I say use your head, think wisely, think about your family, um, and be safe. And I'll talk with you the next time. Have a great day.